Hey guys, and welcome to Extra Time, the FIWC 2017 web show. So we're here today to wrap up all the events of day one of FIWC 17 and just make sense of all the crazy things and action that has happened today. And to help me make sense of it, I have Dave, by the way, professional FIFA player from Wolfsburg. Now, Dave, how were you impressed? How much were you impressed with the day one so far?
Day one's been incredible. I've been on the ground floor the whole time. I've been so impressed with a lot of the South American players, actually. There's been a lot of blood, sweat and tears and, of course, a lot of shocks as well. Exactly.
Lots of shocks to talk about. And now we're going to take a look at how the groups ended for the group stage. Of course, the top four from every group on PlayStation and Xbox will be moving on to the knockout round. So let's take a look at the groups here. This is going to be PlayStation Group 1. We've got Ice Principe, the Italian, very strong player in FIWC 17 and also in previous tournaments of FIFA 17. He's going to top the group. We got Nicholas T-Mox from Germany and then Dato Kai Wallen, who is back with a bang on FIWC 17. He was a big pro player back in the scene in previous FIFAs. Now let's move on to PS4 Group 2. Now a lot of great players here. Monika from France, top in the group, looking very strong. Lucas Rep, another great professional player from Brazil, at second place. Mobemiak from Germany, and the last qualifier here for the knockout rounds is Timon from Russia, who was very excited to make it to the next round. He was running around the place because he scored a 90th-minute winner. Now, moving on to Xbox Group 1. Cody the Finisher finishes in first place. Second place goes to Gorilla. Third goes to Aman from Roma Esports. And last but not least, Janos finishes off the people qualifying from Xbox Group 1. Now, let's take a look at Xbox Group 2. Number 1 is Rocky. Number 2 is Filthy P, who was a big surprise in this tournament. Number 3 goes to Epsilon Joy, another huge surprise in this group. And last but not least, Danny from IX. Now, Dave, what do you think about that?
I mean, that was a group of death, and in the media briefing, everyone basically picked their favourites, and most of them picked Tass or Rocky. So to see Tass not only not get through, but finish bottom of the group, that's a massive shock.
So it really depends on how you play on the day. And speaking of how you play on the day, we've got some of the best goals to show you from the players today at FIWC 17 Day 1. These are some incredible goals. 2 from Gorilla from the UK, Unilad Gorilla, scored 2 amazing goals, starting with this one here. I mean, this has to be the goal of the night. He has it with Suarez. Marcelo gives it to Team India Ronaldo, scoop turn, fake Rabona. That is a roulette, another roulette with a nutmeg. I don't think you're going to see that anywhere else. What do you think?
You just have to look at Stax' reaction on that. He just sort of nods and smiles. And when you're a pro player, if you're going to concede a goal, you want it to be like that. You don't want it to be like a horrible goal. You want it to be like something nice like that. I mean, there's never a good goal to concede, but you know that's an easy one to take.
And I talked to Stax after. He told me he was not even mad about that. Now, this next clip is another goal from Gorilla. It just kind of shows you how cruel football can be. Marlet goes so close against Gorilla. It bounces, hit the post, and then Gorilla goes on the counterattack. And check out this quick pace counterattack. This is what Gorilla is known for. This is why he's one of the most feared attackers in FIFA. He goes for the Berber spin, the McGeady spin, and an easy finish with the Team of the Year, Neymar. So again, football, it can be a cruel sport. I mean, what goes through your mind if you concede a goal like that?
I mean, to be honest, he really didn't give Marlott a chance to do not 1 but 2 spins. On the first one, usually as a pro player, you'd be like, okay, I should have read that. And then you won't really be expecting another one because players just don't tend to like combine them both like that. So to do it the second time, he just completely took Marlott by surprise, and it was a fantastic goal.
Speaking of taking people by surprise, a player they wouldn't expect a lot of long shots to come from, N'Golo Kante. This was a goal scored by Principe, the Italian player. Again, N'Golo Kante, the 92 Player of the Year version, he can hit that. You don't expect it from him. I'm not sure even like if the real Kante was watching this, he would not think it was him doing that. Have you used that player before, the POTY Kante?
Yeah, he's my best player by far. I mean, even before he had that version of him, his standard item card, it was so good. So when he got that upgrade, yeah, I think he was pretty much in everyone's team after that.
So we're seeing a lot of great players there. Now we're going to move on to another clip where this kind of shows you how close things can get. This was a clip from Filthy P. You had an amazing match against Rafifa, and this was probably one of the most important matches. As you can see, David De Gea saves it, but it just creeps over the line before it's cleared. And this was a vital match for him to win because this kind of set him up to move on to the round of 16. Again, nobody expected him to move on. And, I mean, it always comes down to something as close as that sometimes in FIWC, doesn't it?
I think in competitive FIFA in general, like the games are like decided by such fine margins, and I don't think there's a better example than that one right there.
Exactly. So very tight here, day one FIWC, but we are down to 16 players. Now, one of those 16 players is here to join us today. It is Roma's own Aman.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Aman, how you doing? So congratulations on moving on to the knockout round. Now tell me, you know, you're from America, and a lot of the best competitors people say are from Europe and also even some South America. So do you feel like coming here to London, do you feel like some of the players from the other regions were underestimating players from North America?
Yeah, I think a lot of the guys were underestimating us, and we benefited from it because they didn't know how we played. You know, it was a surprise to them. Filthy, Joey, myself, you know, we came up, we turned up, and we repped. You already know.
Exactly. So North America doing it big here at FIWC 17. Not a lot of people seeing that coming, but it made the competition so much more interesting. Now, we do have some questions from the community, or a question from the community here that we'll probably ask you, Aman. So we have a question from Chappers FIFA. He says, who is making the top 4? Now, Aman, aside from yourself, I guess, which are the 3 players you see going really far? I guess 1 from Xbox and 2 from PlayStation then.
Okay, I mean, going to the groups, I had Gorilla. He was a tough opponent. I think he's going to show up. We've got on the PS4 side, Principe. He's dominating. He's doing well. And, you know, you saw him do work at, I think it was Paris? No.
Madrid.
Madrid.
Yeah,
it was Madrid, yeah. So Principe, I think he's going to be up there. And then hopefully one of the NA guys, Filthy or Joey's up there as well. But Joey and Gorilla, one of those is going to get knocked out. So hopefully Filthy not beating me, but, you know, but if he does, then I would rather him win because then I could say I lost to the champion, right?
It always feels better when you do lose to the champion. Aman, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck on day 2.
All right, thanks for having me.
So, as we said, day 2 of FIWC is coming up, and we've got some great matchups to show you, starting with the PlayStation bracket. Now, the PlayStation bracket is looking very intense. We've got some great matches. Principe versus Timon of Russia. Lucas Rep versus T-Mox is going to be a really, really good goal fest. Manika versus Deto. Possession, possession, possession. Those 2 are probably the 2 best possession players in this tournament, hands down. And Nicholas versus Mobemyang from Germany. So those are who we do have on the PlayStation. Now let's take a look at who we have next round for the Xbox. We got Cody the Finisher versus Danny, Filthy P versus Aman, as Aman was mentioning previously, and Rocky versus Janos, and last but not least, Gorilla versus Epsilon Joey. So I would ask you, Dave, which 2 matches in that bracket stand out for you?
At this level, I mean, all of those games, they stand out. But on the PlayStation side, I think it'd have to be Lucas Rep versus T-Mox just because they're both just full of goals. They just attack, 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 and I'm pretty sure that's going to be a game with a ton of goals. And on the Xbox side, Gorilla and Joey for the exact same reason. Gorilla's, he's sort of controlled the games more than I would have expected. Like, he's not used to it. Usually, he has a mentality, I'm going to score more than my opponents. But yeah, he's been controlling the games a little bit more, but that's another game that I feel like there's going to be a ton of goals in.
So a great first day at FIWC 17. We can look forward to an amazing day 2. And of course, you can watch all the action on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. But if you do live near London, you can come get your free tickets at Westminster Hall right here in London. So look out for that, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.